Again, this is Old Man PHP. I create PHP video tutorials for the old guys who want to learn a new skill and compete with the young crowd. This is video number 106. Now, I've been sharing with you different types of little systems. Remember, there's the stuff you use in restaurants. You can create lists, different things, right? Now this one is an inventory system. Simple, same idea. We're using JavaScript, and of course, let's go ahead. We're using api.php. This is just a note. Then we're using index.php, inventory JSON. This is the JSON file. And we're going to be using script, right? JavaScript script, and of course CSS, because you've seen this already. All you have to do is use this, and then when the time comes and you need to change things and stuff like that, you can go ahead and do it on the JavaScript. Right now, the inventory JSON has nothing, as you can see, it's blank. Maybe I should move this a little bit over. No, move it over here. Let's go right here. See how you got that little box there? But if I move it over a little bit, yeah, like that. And what this does is inventory, right? Let's say you wanted to keep track of what's going on in your house, because you can make this as powerful, but I'm giving you the tools so you can use that. You don't need a database right away, because you're doing JavaScript is doing it for you, and then it remembers, unless you get rid of stuff or clean your cache and stuff, so you can restart it. And you can kind of like if you went to, I don't know if we talked about this, right? How you can check out your source, right? But this is your JavaScript source. This is it right here, right? So we showed you that, right? Let's get rid of that one. Let's get rid of that. Let's go to the inventory now. But you can also go to the inspector, and I'll do a video on that. Let's see if we can kind of looks ugly right now. Let's say we do it like this, right? Because you can check out your elements. Look, you can kind of check out the different elements, see how it kind of points and kind of show you where it is. And then you got your JavaScript part, right? Pointed to that. What's that showing you? It's just weird. Oh man, don't tell me about my machine. I had to reboot this machine 3 times today. I don't know what's going on. Okay, then you have your network, right? And this keeps track. So if you went like this and you hit it, look, it gives you information. Look, it ran the first part, it does the script, and then it fetches API, because that's what's going to happen here. How can I make this a little, like if I move this over, oh man, I gotta do a better job of doing my videos. Let's see if we can move this over like this. Then you can see the treatment, and then you can see now. Let's say you wanted to add a product, right? So let's say you did a oh look, books. I mean not books. I'm sick of it. How about we do tables? Table, and I have, believe it or not, I do 1, 2, 3, 4. I got about 6 tables, right? And if you add the product, look, it adds it for you. You saw this? It went through the status, and it went out there, fetched the stuff, and it gave me the status of 200. That means it's been successful. And it added it. Look, it added the actual ID to it. It said, oh, I want table. This is 6 quantity, right? Let's see if we can add, well, look at that, not bad. Let's do bread. That's already there. let me see, we have one I made, 2, 3. Yeah, I make breads and I make desserts and stuff. Not a chef, I'm just learning and trying to share. And I also fix it up because I am keto. I kind of eat that way. And I kind of fix stuff so it could fit me. Anyway, who cares? This is PHP. See how it did that? I added the other one. It gave me this stuff. The the status which is 200. It fetches. It does all these little things, right? So you can see. Let's say we add. Let's get rid of this. We already know what the deal is, right? This way. Let's add. I got 3 printers. So I do have 3 printers. And I have 1, 2, and 3. See, it added to the. So what I wanted to do is look, JavaScript does this for you. So if you kind of went here, oh, by the way, when you add this information in, it's going to go into a JSON file too because it creates the file itself. Let's see if we can check it out. This is your index file. Okay. Simple that. See what you're seeing here is that it looks kind of nice. Got a little box, a little thing in the bottom. That would be your CSS file. Remember, we talk about this all the time. All this, the rules and all that, kind of gives you what this looks like. Okay, but to do the functional thing, and this is of course what represents the whole thing. This is what the actual thing is, and of course CSS makes it look like that. Then you have your JavaScript. The JavaScript is what does all the things, because the JavaScript is a programming language that works on the browser side, works on the client side, not PHP that works on the server side, works on the client side. So if you click on it and it gives you the whole thing. Add listener, that means that when somebody submits, which happens to be this, it'll go through this process and then it'll load this. And remember, these are functions just like PHP functions, and nothing happens until it's done, until you hit a particular button that's within that, because you're gonna call it, right? Right now it's just kind of fixing it up for you, just ready for you. And over here you got the update. Over here it does the JSON file, puts it in the JSON file, and then it gives you success, that kind of thing. Then it calls back the inventory website function, which happens to be this one, which gives you this. Every time you add something, it'll go through the process, puts it in a JSON file, and then gives you this. That's what that is, right? You said, well, what's the JSON file look like? Okay, let me show you. Where are you, buddy? Where are you? I thought I had you open. Man. No. Let's see. Oh yeah, right here. It's called inventory JSON. Hey, this inventory JSON, I know it's. I'll tell you what. Let me close it up, and let's start it up again. Because right now, look, it has 2 bytes. So if we open it up, look, table, bread, and printer. See? So you can kind of play around with that. This is everything is ready for you. All you have to do is that now if you want to add, or I want to submit, when you hear that instead of submitting it to a JSON file, it's acting as a like a session. I mean, what happens is it opens up a JSON file, puts that information, and later on reads it, and that's what you're seeing. Okay. And when you want to update and delete, it'll take it out of here. And where's the script at? Okay, here's the script, right? So when you do the update and delete, which happens to be this, now there was a trick that before when I started to play around with, I completely forgot about these single quotes, and when you remove them, right, and you try pressing these things, nothing happened because for some reason it'll look at it like, oh, it's just a bunch of numbers. But in reality, you want to turn it into a string because JSON, that's what it is. It's a string, right? So go see it to. Why I keep taking it out? Oh, here, every time you go to JSON file, even though see how it's got a double these little quotes and stuff, because it looks at everything as a string. And later on, you can you can kind of convert them and stuff, and that way you can. It depends on what it is that you're trying to do. So right now, it's reading this guy. Now you have an API. Where are we? Which is the PHP part, and basically it's doing this. It's just checking things out, making sure that because what happens is it goes there and then it comes back and then uses the cases. See, cases, and it gives you the update. So when you do hit the update, it goes like this. It looks at it, goes through all this, it checks out, and of course when you see because when you let me see if I can do it here. Let's do this one. See how you get that box? When you get that box, that's what's gonna this will work on the actual thing when you hit it. Let me see. Let's enter the quality. Let's say I have 10 tables. What the heck? 10 tables. 10 tables. Boom. See how it updated? It fixed it up. All this is what's doing it for you. Anyway, well, everything together because one calls the other one, it calls the other one, it calls it. That's why it's important to always learn this part right here. And then when I put these little quotes here, it says, well, no, this is going to be a string. So it gives you what it is as is. Otherwise, it would be just numbers. Anyway, and I know I wanted to check to see, like, for instance, if I went here to check, you don't see it anywhere because look, JavaScript is kind of doing everything for you. JavaScript is printing it out here, it's doing all the work for you, and then it's printing out the stuff. And I think it's a great idea to learn some of it anyway, because this is good stuff, Or when you're ready to do a project and you need to do certain things like that, you can do it. Plus, once let's say you did this, your update, you can also set it up that PHP, it'll go out there to update the actual PHP file, or you can have the JSON file, then later on have PHP read the JSON file and fix the actual table with that information. And that basically, look how simple. Just because I fixed this, it's like when we're writing these things out real quick, but real fast, that's why you have to kind of play around with it and then debug it and use the inspector, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, cool. I'm not gonna do a whole inspector thing because it's like really, it's a lot, and it confuses people. So maybe I'll do a whole, like maybe 1 or 2 videos about the inspector, so that way you can inspect things and play around with things and change things, and you can do everything there without actually changing anything. Without actually changing the file itself, because you're changing it here under the inspection. Anyway, so right now this is it. You got your, oh wait, let's delete. How about that? Because we already find that. Let's delete this printer. We can just say boom. Are you sure you want to delete the product? You say okay. Look, it deleted it. Isn't that fantastic? You can use this stuff just like we did with the what was the other one we did, the list maker and the cloud POS, the point of sale. Remember we talked about how you got JavaScript is doing all this stuff. You can actually use this and let let's say if you're just using PHP and using the server-side stuff and getting things from the database and bringing it, displaying it, and then you want to delete it, and you can use Ajax to make it look like it's enough. Otherwise, if you didn't use Ajax and you hit the delete, you get like a message, which you did, and then it rewrites this whole thing all over again for you. And I think I showed you how to do that anyway. Anyway, we're here. We reached the end. If you like it, I'm gonna give you some more. All this stuff here. Let me see. Let's go to the actual directory. This. Oh, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you everything. This right here is just wording for for the database in case you want to create a right here. Create the database itself so that way you can use PHP more, like after you have fixed it and you changed it there, and then you want to make sure that permanently is set in stone in a database. Then you can, but to do that you will need to create a database, the table itself. See, I'm going to give it to you anyway so that way you can read. It says it all here. Alright, my friends, we give you all these, and I'm going to put it in some file. I guess I'll call it inventory systems.txt, and then from there you can pull that information out. I'll have what I have been doing. I've been doing index.php, and then underneath it I'll give you the whole thing, and inventory I'll give you the whole thing, and Java's. Well, not this. This one's going to be blank. It's going to create it for you. And then I'll give you this one, and then I'll give you this one. All this one can look nice like this. All right, my friends. Thank you very much. Give me a like. That will help me out. And if you think I, didn't understand something, please let me know. Yeah, I'm getting sick again. I don't know. I just don't know. And it is raining, so I don't know. Let's see. Anyway, thank you very much, and a good night.